a good one, Mitch. That was one of your better ones. You should probably just save that one.
You think so?
Clip it off. That was a good one.
I don't know. I let the whole intro run, though, so I heard a lot of crap that I don't like. I'm sorry. Am I not supposed to say that?
No, you're not supposed to say that.
What? I don't even know if we're on the air right now. So we got. Why don't we talk about nothing for 30 seconds before we really start the segment?
No, we're starting the segment.
No, but we might not even be on.
We're not on?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Let's just talk for 20 more seconds and then wait to see, because the log wasn't set up the way it usually is. So all of a sudden I thought I had 2 more minutes to send an email and I didn't. All right, now we're good.
Now we're definitely back. Okay. Anyways, well, this is embarrassing.
I'm embarrassed 0%.
This is the double team.
I love radio.
I am Dario Melendez from Fox Sports Wisconsin. He is my Thunder buddy, Mitch Thunder Nellis.
It's fluid. It's malleable. it's like clay. You melt it in your hands.
Not when we have Milwaukee royalty in studio.
That's true. The MACC Fund is Milwaukee royalty.
We have MACC Fund COO.
Or statewide. Isn't it statewide royalty?
Really? Yeah, really.
It really is. Yeah.
So Becky Pinter, the COO of the MACC Fund, is in studio with us. Becky, thank you so much for being here with us because this is a big day. David Resnick, Stadiums for Ants. If you follow him on Twitter, it's one of the coolest things you'll see. He builds these handmade cathedrals for ants out of ballparks. And kind of take us through how we got the Miller Park and MACC Fund Stadium for Ants going.
Sure. So from what I understand, David had put something out on social media as to what stadium he wanted to do next, and overwhelming response was Miller Park. So after that was established, the next question was what charity in southeastern Wisconsin, or Wisconsin as a whole, should benefit from this little venture. And again, by overwhelming response and majority, they had picked the MACC Fund. So
it makes total sense.
Absolutely, thank you. I'm very excited to be partnering and working with David.
And I know he's excited. We've been going back and forth trying to figure out a way to promote this as much as possible. And do you know how much money's been raised so far?
From what I understand, over $5,000 has been raised for the MACC Fund. So he is thrilled with that, to say the least. And from what he has said, I'm sure he's going to touch on this as well. It's about $1,200 more than he has ever raised for a charity by doing this.
Good. That's why I said I wanted to come back to Wisconsin when I had the choice to. Wisconsin fans are awesome. And when they see something that they know is cool and unique, they're going to jump at it. And this mini Miller Park is cool and unique. And with that said, let's bring in David Resnick from Stadiums for Ants. David, we were just talking about all the cool things that you're doing, and $5,000 already raised for the MACC Fund. You must be thrilled.
I'm totally blown away, guys. As Becky just said, this one beat my personal record by about $1,200. And that includes one that I did with a former Browns player in my own hometown. So I'm very, very impressed with you guys.
David, have you been impressed with the type of reaction that the mini Miller Park is getting on social media?
It's been so cool. I mean, this kind of started for me as a hobby. Many years ago, I actually took myself back to school because of these little projects. I got into architecture school, so I'm going to be a real stadium architect one of these days pretty soon here. And just being able to, and I said this to Becky earlier today, being able to do 3 things at once is unbelievable. The first thing is I get to work on my passion projects, and I absolutely love building these little things. Number 2, obviously raising money for an incredibly worthy cause. And number 3 is making sure that it's going to wind up in the hands of someone who's a real fan of that team. You know, I've got my own Jacobs Field one that I built a long time ago, and I love it, but I would never obviously love a Miller Park one the way I love mine, because it's not my team. As much as this has been amazing, I think everybody understands that. And to make sure that it's getting in the hands of somebody who's a tried and true, diehard, lifelong Brewers fan, that's just the coolest thing.
I mean, I think we can all totally agree with that. And I showed Becky, because she hadn't seen it yet, I showed Becky a bunch of the pictures, and she was floored. Before we get to the announcement of the winner of this mini Miller Park, Becky, quickly, just tell us what the MACC Fund is for people, our listeners in Madison and Milwaukee, who might not know.
Absolutely. The MACC Fund raises money for pediatric cancer and related blood disorders research. I was sharing with a friend a couple hours ago how fortunate we are to have the MACC Fund in southeastern Wisconsin and the ability to contribute to the doctors and the researchers who are trying to find a cure for childhood cancer and blood disorders research. I'm lucky enough to be at the MACC Fund Center tomorrow morning to see a little boy who's 2 years old going to be ringing the bell to signify the end of cancer treatment. That's what the MACC Fund does. We provide monies and research and hope for these families. And I'm lucky enough to be the beneficiary to see something like that tomorrow. The MACC Fund gives to 4 entities, Children's Hospital of Wisconsin, Marshfield Clinic, the Medical College of Wisconsin, and the UW Carbone Cancer Center. So all of the research stays right here in Wisconsin, but not only benefits Wisconsin, but the state, the entire state, the nation, everybody benefits from the research the MACC Fund does.
And the one thing I love about the MACC Fund, despite all the good you do in the research of trying to cure cancer and the other organizations you help with raising money, you're very in tune with driving the research money wagon with sports. Like you have Aaron Rodgers that you've worked with a lot. You're at sporting events throughout the state of Wisconsin trying to tap into that resource, and obviously with David here with Stadium for Ants. I mean, I love that you guys have taken or learned how to take sports as a tool to drive money.
Absolutely, and we've been lucky enough to partner with all of the sports teams here in Wisconsin, whether it's the Bucks for the Bucks MACC Fund game, the Brewers for the Brewers Mini. We're fortunate, as you just suggested, Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers. We're very lucky. We're very lucky to have the backing of everybody.
Oh, yeah.
How about a softball game that you and I are playing in, Dario?
We are a celebrity softball game, the MACC Fund celebrity softball game over at
With
Capco.
the Chinooks, yep.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to it.
It's going to be a blast for one of us.
You're going down.
For one of
You're
us.
going down so bad.
Keep it up.
You know, David, you should build a mini Capco and put Mitch in the center crying. Because that's what's going to happen.
I'm all over it, guys. I'm all over it.
All right, so it is that time. Can we get David? Are you ready?
Hold on, real quick.
We gotta wait.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hate waiting.
Dr. Dave can't win this, right? I mean, what if Dr. Dave Margolis? What if he bought
You know he did.
If he's the winner, I'm taking it. He can come to my house and check it out. He lives right down the street. I'm just saying, Dr. Dave, if you're listening right now and you're the winner, it's coming to me, buddy.
All right, I'm going to set the stage real quick. Again, we were talking with Becky Pinter, the COO of the MACC Fund, Dave Resnick from Stadiums for Ants. You can see him on Twitter. We are about to give away the mini Miller Park that is being auctioned off. It has raised $5,000, the most ever raised for charity through Stadiums for Ants. David, do you have your winner?
I do.
The winner is?
The winner is Kyle Jingozin.
Kyle Jingozin!
Wow.
You said my name wrong.
Yeah, it's Dario Melendez.
It's Dario Melendez.
You know what, guys? That's my bad.
Congratulations, Kyle Jingozin.
That's really exciting.
That is really cool. Do you know where Kyle lives?
Kyle.
You don't have to give his address. What city?
Right, but just his what town?
I think it's Franklin.
Franklin.
Okay, yeah, Franklin.
Oh, so that's right near us, so they can hear us.
Wait, that could be Armin.
And if you guys don't mind, really quick, I just want to say keep an eye on social media the rest of the day. There's 4 more winners. One of my buddies out in California who does these amazing ballpark prints did some special edition ones for Miller Park for this. So there's 4 more prizes to give away. Becky and the MACC Fund are giving away a Brewers prize pack as well. So a couple more announcements that'll come on social media later in the afternoon.
But Kyle Jingozin.
It's at Stadiums for Ants.
Yep.
At Stadiums for Ants on Twitter.
And Kyle, if you're listening, give us a call. I want to know what your reaction is to this because we've been pumping this out for the past week to tell you to listen to our show right here on 97.3 The Game, Big 1070 in Madison. We wanted to know what you think about winning this amazing mini Miller Park. I just want to know where you're going to put it.
And how much you want for it.
Yeah.
I get $20.
I'll go 2050.
What? I'll go 2075.
Sold. David, thanks so much, man. And I know you're going to be up here this week, so we're going to try to touch base and see if we can give this thing away.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. It was a pleasure, and also thank you, thank the station, thank everybody else in town who has been unbelievably cool in helping promote this. I don't know a lot of people in Wisconsin, so without you guys, I don't think it raises as much money as it did. So this was a total team effort.
Absolutely. Thanks, David.
Thanks so much, David.
So remember, on Twitter, it's at Stadiums for Ants. It's also stadiumsforants.com. They've got pictures right now. I'm looking at actually at PNC Park right now, which of course is Pittsburgh's park. But
he's done some cool ones.
Yep, they have a link to Minnie Miller Park, and as you guys have been talking about, the impact that the MACC Fund has had on our community here in Wisconsin. You know, you talk about Carbone Cancer Center, and we've all been to the Andy North Golf Outing and the collaboration with those events. Obviously, the MACC Fund Golf Outing, and how influential John Kerry was for 36 years as the executive director here of the MACC Fund. And for those of you who follow him or are friends with him I don't know if he's on Twitter, but he's certainly on Facebook, spending lots of time, well-deserved time with the grandkids now, isn't he?
Definitely. He's got two beautiful little baby grandsons that were just born within the past couple of months.
Yeah, so how many does that make now? Like 29,503, 8,226? He's got a lot of grandkids around southeastern Wisconsin, which is great. And the great thing about John is if you're in the same room with him, first of all, you knew you were in the right room because it was always a great room no matter where he was. But it's also, unassuming is the word that jumps into my mind. I mean, just like so kind, so friendly, has time to say hello to everyone, and just like made you feel like, yes, if you're at a MACC Fund event, and if you're giving money to the MACC Fund, you're doing good. But he made you feel like you were doing good. You know, you weren't just doing good, you felt it. And that continues on to this day with the MACC Fund.
I appreciate you saying that. We're lucky to do what we do on a daily basis. I'm fortunate to be in the position that I am.
Right, we want you to go out of business. I mean, we want the MACC Fund to be done.
Absolutely.
And that's all. I mean, I used to joke with John 10 years ago about like that. My goal was to make him retire early. You know, and he didn't retire early, but we want cures. We want research. Childhood cancer should not exist.
Absolutely.
Ever again, ever. And the fact that it does, you know, it's okay to make us angry and sad and whatever emotion that is. But as long as it still exists, we're glad we have people like you, Becky, and your organization and the other organizations you mentioned. And I tongue-in-cheek talk about Dr. Dave, but when I talk about him, not just in Wisconsin, but you know, I'll be on with my friends out on the East Coast or whatever, and I'll say we've one of the top, if not the top, pediatric
He's
cancer
the Michael Jordan.
doctor. Yeah, he's the Michael Jordan.
Pediatric cancer.
Cancer doctor in America. And he's that crazy guy at Bucks games waving his arm and dyeing his hair.
Right. Leading bone marrow transplant doctor throughout the nation, throughout the world.
Yeah. And
he loves the MACC Fund so much. And every time you see him at the Bucks game, he's got some sort of sign that says, go MACC Fund or for the MACC Fund. We're fortunate. We're very fortunate, as we always say, to have Children's Hospital and the MACC Fund Center here in southeastern Wisconsin. You never want to be in that position, but if you are, we're lucky to have it.
So,
Absolutely.
Becky, what other events do you have coming up that people can get involved in to donate, to try to raise money for the MACC Fund?
We have the ELB, so it's the Emerging Leaders Board Golf Outing coming up at the Bog. We have the Brewers Mini coming up.
Which I'll be taking part in. I think I'm helping to promote that.
Of course.
The Brewers Mini is fun.
I know.
It's a fun race. They do a really good
wonderful
job. And the thing I love about it is, sorry to digress off the Brewers Mini, which you should do because it helps raise money for the MACC Fund. It has a 5K option, a 10K option, and the half marathon option, and every race gets a medal. So if you've never had a medal or you're a medal junkie, usually 5Ks don't give medals, sometimes 10Ks don't give medals, but if you're running in the Brewers Mini, you get the medal, you get the swag, you get to run on the field, and you get to run and help raise money for a good cause. But back to the MACC Fund.
No, that was a great pitch for us. We've got the Bob and Brian outing coming up this Friday, another sold-out event. I know there's a huge waiting list for that. They do a wonderful job for us as well. There are just numerous things coming up. Check the MACC Fund calendar, social media. Things pop up. People do things for the MACC Fund all the time that we're not even aware of, that we catch wind of via Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. So,
do you guys still have the gala? Do you have the MACC Fund gala?
We do not.
You do not? Okay. I remember my first trip here, my first stint here in Milwaukee, the gala was always a big thing. I just didn't know if it was still around.
Yeah. But everybody should go to MACCFundSoftball.com because right on the picture, right on the front page, Paul Molitor, Robin Yount, and Jim Gantner, they're getting back together Saturday, August 10th at Capco Park. And if you look at the rosters of the players on the teams, of course, John McLaughlin's going to be there. Desmond Mason will be there. Jared Abradaris is going to be there. Jen Latta, who's that? Steve Novak's going to be there. Ever. Bill Schroeder's going to be there. Brian Butch is going to be there. Ted Perry's going to be there. Troy Grosnick's going to be there. Caitlin Sharkey's going to be there. Dario Melendez and Mitch Nellis will be there. It's going to be a blast. So make sure you get to MACCFund@softball.com. Get your tickets. 100% of the proceeds go to the MACC Fund.
And Capco and the Chinooks have been just wonderful to work with. They have helped us out so much, are so excited about this, and want to make this an annual event for us.
Oh, I mean, I'm going to want to come back to defend my crown every year.
What crown is that?
Home Run Derby and in-game
0%
MVP.
0%, bro.
In-game MVP.
0%, bro.
Dropping bombs left and right.
0%, bro.
Just wait. Just wait.
I can't wait.
Becky, thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
Besides the events, how can people get involved with the MACC Fund and donate?
They can simply go to our website, donate. They can help. They can volunteer at events. They can run an event for themselves by themselves. Anything helps us.
And that's MACCFund.org. Of course, MACC with 2 C's. MACCFund.org is the website.
Becky, thank you so much. Becky Pinter, COO of the MACC Fund in studio. We just gave away the mini Miller Park to Kyle. I forget his last name already.
It doesn't, yeah.
Who's something? It's not me, so I'm upset.
It was one of those long names. He's from Franklin. He'll figure it out.
Becky, thanks so much.
Thank you.
We thank him for donating and buying tickets.
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about.
It's just I don't like you right now because I wanted that for myself.
Hashtag jealousy.
Hashtag so much jealousy. Much more of the Double Team coming up statewide after this.